Hi, my name is Dylan Talactag, and I'll be talking about Chapter 17 and 18, Global Production and Supply Chain Management and Global Marketing Research and Development. So, I will be focusing on Chapter 17. I'll be focusing on the question, where should production facilities be located? So, country factors are one of the biggest deciding factors on where businesses should do business and where they should locate. These includes things like trade barriers. Is trade between countries hard or easy? Are the tariffs in these countries high? If so, if any of these are yes, then it would be hard to export goods. Another thing would be transportational costs. Will these goods be traveling through automotives? Will they be transferred over ship or by plane? Depending on where that goes, it might be super expensive. Or next, are rules and regulation in this country high? If so, that means business in this area might be very restricted and limited based on whatever laws that are set in place for these different businesses. Next, our exchange rate. Is the dollar amount or the currency of the country worth more than other countries? If so, this might determine how well or how much they can sell a certain product. And all these factors together give a business a general sense of what they need to account for when opening up another area. Next would be technological factors, something like fixed costs. So if the fixed cost of a certain country is higher, that means they would have to pay more, which means that their business will be more expensive to be ran and maintained. Next would be minimum efficiency scales. MES is basically the lowest point on a curve in which a company can produce their product at a competitive level. If they need to drop their price even more, just a slightly bit more, it's going to be unfair for them, and there's not really a market for them, and they should not do business in this area. Next is increased utilization of machines. This can be helpful through better time management or time scheduling. Next is improved quality control. Another one would be product factors. So product factors like value to weight. So many electronic items are low in weight or expensive to make due to their chips and their softwares that they have inside of them. Without managing this, businesses can lose billions in sales. Next would be universal needs. So do people really need these items? Next would be centralized and decentralized. If you look in here, this is the graph that breaks down the country factors, technological factors, and product factors, and it'll tell you a little bit more about that. But in a centralized product production, the world market is from a centralized location, whereas in a decentralized, various regional or national locations are very close to major markets. Next will be hidden costs. So high employee turnover. This basically means the business has to hire more people and train more people, which might affect them in the long run. Shoddy workmanship, this basically means the quality that the worker is producing, for example, in construction, is not up to quality. Poor production quality, so the product is poorly made, and then low productivity of their employees. So next for chapter 18, we'll be discussing what are the barriers to international communication. One of the biggest things will be cultural barriers. So in cultural barriers, one thing in one culture can mean a vastly different thing in another. So we need to be careful and be educated through things like cross literacy, which is to be able to understand other people's culture or language. And this we have to use this and be mindful of this because if we're going to be marketing in certain areas of the world, we have to be knowledgeable in their culture so we do not have to offend the population. Next would be source of the country and origin effect. Source effect basically happens when the receiver of the message evaluates the message based on the status or image of the sender. So basically, if I was to be talking about something or the professor is talking about something, people will be more influenced by the professor because they know more. Another would be the country of origin effects, which is the extent of the place or manufacturing that influence the product evaluation. You can think of this as like San Jose State versus like Harvard, or the people between there go to those schools. People will tend to go to Harvard because they are more distinguished in as there being more of an Ivy League school than a public school here in San Jose State. And then next is noise level. Noise level is the amount of messages competing for potential customers' attention. So in highly developed countries, noise tend to be high because there's more people in the market for the goods that are sold. And then in developing countries, they tend to be low noise because businesses are not as prevalent. And that's about it. Thank you for listening.